Well, I first moved onto the boat, I felt like I should have done this all along, that it went with my way of life and my style and my way of thinking. But also gradually I feel like I've become a lot more relaxed about things. Moving a boat, as you can see, it's a slow process. You have to be patient, there's no rushing or traffic lights or, it's just all calm. And that has helped me be a calmer person. I feel a lot of people on boats decide to home educate because they have a lower cost of living, therefore they have more of an opportunity to spend time with their children. But also it's sort of similar sort of mentality of freeing yourself from what the norm is and the standard is, and preferring to do things differently and not being afraid of doing something differently. Because I find that a lot of families, they really struggle with like if they're in normal society and then they take their children out of school, they really struggle with what everybody says, what all their friends say, what the school themselves says, things like that.
I think, especially working in London, and just working in general for like so long in your life, and just the things that you come up against through your years, just you get to a point like, I kind of wish I could take a step away from it all, and I think that was part of the reason that sort of pushed me even more to thinking it would be great to live on a boat, just to kind of step away from the normal society and all the stresses and things.
I feel like so many people don't understand it, to the point where, some friends of mine who are quite close, they almost don't want to mention it sometimes that I live on a boat, because they feel like it's something that I might be embarrassed about, or that I might, when they introduce me to their friends, they'll say, oh yeah, this is my friend Karina. She used to live in Peru, and she talks about all these other things, and never mentions that I live on a boat. And then later on in conversation, when I bring it up, she's sort of a bit like, like they just feel like it's something bad or something negative. And then with homeschooling, people just don't understand it. They just say, but how would you do that? And why would you want to do that? Like, don't you want to have a career and a job? But I'm just trying to explain that, yeah, but my career is teaching, so why would I not want to teach my own child? And it's just it's difficult when, I feel society has come a long way in terms of understanding things that are different. It all links in with understanding different races, different cultures, different sexual orientations. We're moving forward, but there's still a long way to come.
If you know where to look, there's lots of research out there on autonomous, child-led learning. There's an amazing scholar called John Holt who, what was his book? Why Children Fail, I think. Where he was basically in the 70s or something railing up against sort of the standardised education system and the importance of children, essentially being left to their own devices to some extent. which is kind of what happened with Sophie and I. We didn't become feral children or anything, because we have very supportive parents. They both work from home, which is what was enabling us to do it in the first place. And then it just became a much more kind of thing about how we wanted to live, which at the time, at the age of 11, 12 I was, and Sophie sort of 8, 9, it became all about play and free play, and not having, you know, we continued to do activities because, you know, like, although lots of people, I think, you know, under the illusion that most kids would just be attached to a screen or a TV. This is before iPads and iPhones, but we would just watch TV all day and that would be that. But actually, you know, kids do, you know, they want adult interaction, they want stuff going on. So the kinds of things that we started to do quite gently were things like volunteering at the local animal shelter, going to the local farm. Like, we wanted to do a lot of outdoors things and a lot of things that involved animals because we were that kind of age. And I think that's what home education did a lot as well, is that you just go on these learning journeys and you don't have an expected outcome, but you just kind of find all these amazing things along the way because you're just allowed to find your own path, which again I think is the more inspirational way of learning. You know, if you, like, as a teenager, it's absolute agony waking up at 7 or whatever it is for school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and is it good for children? When actually there's lots of studies about teenagers, and actually they need the sleep that they crave, you know. And again, having school environments that are like forcing kids to be up by a certain time, like, how helpful is that for their development actually, you know? And how have we created a world actually that is so kind of dictated by clocks and time and doing things at a certain point? Again, I know, you know, structure is good and kids like structure. And again, I think kids tend to self-create if left to their devices long enough, own devices for long enough. But it's kind of letting children get to that point. You know, I know children who have been home educated from when they were babies, and they've got some of the most kind of fulfilling, structured, self-chosen timetables. People again have this, particularly I think, I don't know, feel like it can be quite a cultural thing in the UK, that we don't expect children to be, you know, able to make certain choices for themselves, and actually kids know what they want and know what's good for them, and I think giving them that freedom to explore that is, again, incredible. As far as like most of the kids that I've been around, and maybe it's because of the community I come from, but most young people I know have always wanted to kind of go out and experience things and experience the world and have autonomy to do that. And again, school does not seem to kind of give you many opportunities, and maybe it's changing. I hope it's changing. But do what's right, you know. The families have got to do what's right for them. I think that's probably the main thing. And again, you know, as long as that's not letting the child come to any harm, either through abuse or neglect, then that's
Be kind.
the most important thing. So yeah, be kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't have children if you can't be nice to them. Like, it's not that hard. Like.